In the last video, query by example, I mentioned some of the things that you can actually search for using different types of operators. Now, there's two main types. There's relational operators and there are logical operators. And then we have things called wildcards. And I mentioned wildcards, the asterisk one. You can see my mouse is actually hovering over this one. Now, what that does is the wildcard asterisk, it substitutes for any number of characters. So, for example, if we were searching for, like we did with Nathaniel, and we didn't know how many letters after his name, or then there's a question mark, which searches for only one character after. For example, if you did the asterisk after MA in a last name search, it would get last names such as Matt, May, Madrid, and Martinelli. But if you did the question mark, it would only do Matt and May. And that's really what the HSC and also your subject and syllabus is trying to get you to do, to understand how these operators work. Now, relational operators are things like equal, which is equal to, it has to equal something, not equal to, less than, which I showed you about the height. So we did greater than as far as the height goes. It can be less than or equal to. So let's say we wanted less than or equal to 180. So we'd get anyone who is shorter than 180 centimeters, but we'd also get everyone who is 180 centimeters, and the same with greater than or equal to, say a 180 plus everyone else who is tall. It can contain or does not contain, begins with, ends with, is blank, and is not blank. Now, the Access databases doesn't actually use is blank and is not blank. They call it null, N-U-L-L. So is null or is not null is an important feature for different types of things. The other one is what's known as the logical operators, which I mentioned as well. And that's where you have the criteria on the side is and. The search terms are going to be in one field and also in another. But then the next one is going to be or. So you can have the criteria for one field, and then in the next one, you can have that as well. So it doesn't matter either way. So you can search N in their first name and Y in their last name, and you must satisfy that argument for both of them. Or if you had Y or Y in their last name, then it would get everyone that has also an N or a Y in their last name. So, and then the other one is it's not. So it has to be the exact opposite of that. So it's not an N in their last name, N in their first name, or it's not got a Y in it. We don't want the ones with a Y in it. We exclude those people. Almost a way of, say, a query by bullying sort of thing. We don't want those people with a Y in it. That's not how we operate. So that is what that's taken. This is actually taken from the HSC textbook, and that is what I'm sort of introducing that to you, because the next thing is to look at that in terms of what it looks like as far as designing that goes. So here is our database that we have been using, and we found all the tall people. So let's say we say greater than or equal to 180, and let's run that one. Right, so okay, so everyone's that height, so that's cool. Let's drop this down a little bit. Let's say 175 and see how that one works. Oh, we got a few more people. Awesome. So there's Lucas is now at 179, and Noah is 179. So we've got a few extra ones in there. I haven't got an actual equal, so let's prove that greater than and equal to 179, and there you go. We have proven that query. Now, what does that look like as far as here is our query? It's got the criteria, which is just that. I didn't put any ands in, and I didn't put any ors in as well, but I could have if I wanted to. Well, if I go down here and I click this button, then I get this whole massive dog's breakfast looking mumbo jumbo that doesn't make sense to anyone except for me, of course, because I can understand it because I've done it before. But this is what we're going to be working in the next time that I talk to you in a video.